Hi guys, welcome to this Skillshare class. This class was designed for the entrepreneur or freelancer that feels stressed or overwhelmed with all the stuff they have going on. Trust me, you're not alone. I know there's a lot to do every day, bookkeeping and design and branding and client meetings and growing your email list and all that stuff. Most people would tell you to go outsource some things. Get a VA or an intern or something like that. And those things are great. Don't get me wrong, they really are. But years ago when I took that advice, I just jumped in with both feet and I was not very organized. And it actually ended up costing me hundreds of dollars and dozens of hours and so much more stress than if I had these 3 simple steps I'm teaching in this class to do beforehand. I wish I'd had these. What we're really going to do in this class is go over a few simple things you can do to get organized and make sure you're spending your time on the right things in your business, and make sure there's things that are automated properly so you're not hiring someone to do stuff that could be done by an app, or you're not hiring someone to do something in your business that doesn't actually make a difference long term. So if you're stressed and overwhelmed, come join this class, click enroll. And I challenge you to also invite another friend who's also stressed and overwhelmed so that you guys can do it together and create a little mastermind going through it, which would be really helpful. I'll see you in the class.
Hey guys, welcome to the class. So in this video, we're going to go over the first step. And these are the steps that I so wish I had had before I just jumped in with both feet and hired my first VA 3 years ago. I wasted so much time, so much money, so much energy because I didn't really get organized before. And so that's what this class is about. And the first class, we're going to talk about investigating our time. And I'll show you some of my favorite resources for that and a little bit of why. In our second video, next video, we're going to talk about evaluating. We're going to just evaluate where our time was spent. And if you took my Simplifying Entrepreneurship class, we talked a lot about game changers in our business, the things that really, really move the needle, because that's super important. So in the third class, we're going to talk about automation. And if there's one thing that I could say is the most important, it's this step. I've had so many clients and students over the years that have actually realized they didn't quite need an assistant yet or an intern yet or something like that, because they could go through these steps and cut out what wasn't working and actually automate some stuff. So, they might normally spend 5 to 10 hours a week on marketing, and now they're only spending 1 hour a week because they used some simple apps, some simple settings within Facebook and stuff like that to automate stuff. So, that's a huge time savings, and you're saving yourself hundreds of dollars right there by not needing a VA yet. So let's get to it. So investing in our time, I like to base things around the 80-20 rule. Sometimes this can be a buzzword in the online business world, but it really does matter. So this was designed, if you don't know much about it, this economist, I think the whole story was he was in his garden one day, or someone else's garden, and he realized that 20% of the plants were growing about 80% of the produce. So in effect, what he suggests in a business sense, this is kind of an analogy, but cut out if you have 10 pea plants, cut out 8 of them that aren't producing very well and focus on the 2 that are producing 80% of your fruits. Give them the majority of your water, which might be a scarce resource in many parts of the world, your fertilizer, which can be expensive, and all of that stuff. So you're effectively getting even more peas or fruit or vegetables from 2 plants, but utilizing less of your resources, less of your time, less of your energy, etc. So that's kind of the point. And we're just going to get a brief overview of how we spend our time over the course of a couple work days, maybe 1 or 2 weeks if you want, to get a good sketch of where your time is going and what we can cut in the next step. And like I said, this is really important because I didn't do these stuff at first. And I was having my VA and even my intern later on down the road do stuff that didn't matter. They were doing just everyday tasks that didn't actually create much value, and I was wasting so much time, energy, and money having stuff that didn't matter. So we're going to investigate our time, and this is one of my favorite resources. It's an iPhone app and a web app. So I just kind of come in and color code things. I'll give marketing its own color, and I'll check in, check out when I'm doing stuff. Teaching, webinar, Skillshare will get its own color, and I'll just give a rough sketch of what I was doing. So I like to use this app. Probably at first I use it for a solid probably week and a half or 2 weeks of work. And then I use it now about 2 to 3 work days every quarter so that I can go in and evaluate how things are working. Small point to note is try to do it on a very average work day. Like, don't necessarily do it the day, start to investigate your time the day you get back from vacation. Or like me right now, investigating my time this week might not be very wise because we just got a puppy. So, kind of having to take breaks for her. It's not my average week, so it might kind of skew what you're finding. But this is a really great tool to use. And then these are going to be in the resources with some other apps and stuff that you can use as well. I love good old pen and paper. I started doing this on pen and paper, so there's going to be a PDF download of this. I love to use that because I can use different colored Sharpies and I can use highlighters, and it can be a little bit faster sometimes. And then there's also an Excel or a Google Doc version, which again, you can even create your own system with, maybe billable hours are in bold, and maybe times when you're working in kind of admin settings, marketing your business or whatever, they're in italics. Certain types of business work can be, highlighted in a different color than others, etc. So you can kind of create your own system using just having another tab open of Google Docs every day, and you just check in a couple times a day, estimate where you were. That works really well for me too. Sometimes I'll use that instead of hours because it can be a little bit faster if you want. Lastly, one of my favorite apps, and this I use pretty constantly, and this I'll check in about once a month and do kind of a mini evaluation of my time. So I'll just show you the interface real quick. This is a weekly dashboard. You can also do daily. So this is a free app, and it is right here. It sits right here on my computer. And like today, I haven't done much, so we'll go to yesterday. And you can go in, and what I have to do about once a month is go in and make sure that it's categorizing the websites correctly. Like for me, it normally has Facebook as very distracting in red because obviously it's social media. So I leave Pinterest as red because typically that's not something really businessy. But for me, I'm on Facebook a lot doing client messages, and I have a lot of student groups on Facebook groups, so I'm in there a lot. And it's actually, I have it as productive. So it's very good. And you can set up goals. You can set up alerts. They'll send you like a kind of a weekly overview. You can even upgrade to premium, and they'll block certain websites, which might be good if you realize in step 2, you evaluate your time and you seem to always be getting distracted right after lunch. You'll sit down at your computer and start reading a blog or, catching up on the news or Pinterest or something like that. So maybe you'll start blocking those websites for half an hour, and then you get to take a break or something like that. So upgrading to premium might be worth it for you, but it's free and just a great thing to try for a few weeks to see if it helps you better manage your time and better evaluate where your time is going. So I love this app and I highly recommend it. And then the other ones as well. It's really important to know where your time is going and to make sure that we're adding value by outsourcing. We want our ROI to be really, really high on this. So I'll see you in the second video to evaluate where our time is going. Hey guys, welcome to step 2. For this, it's really about seeing where your time is going, where your energy is going, where your money is going, because we want to focus on the game changers, as I said in the Simplifying Entrepreneurship class, the things that really make a difference, the products or services or activities that build the business we really want to have, the things that are sustainable, because I want y'all to help avoid burnout. I've definitely had run-ins with burnout over the years, and it sucks because it's when a lot of people quit. And entrepreneurship can be so great. We really want to avoid that if we can. And I wish someone had sat me down a few years ago and told me to start asking these questions and asking them fairly often so that I know I'm building the right business in the right way so that I can avoid burnout and build a sustainable business. So we definitely want to look at where's the income coming from, what things are bringing in the most income. You know, you can even write each one down and write down the income they're bringing in every month or every year, maybe a percentage, which products or which services are bringing in a majority of the, kind of pie of your income, if you will. And then marketing efforts. Look at your analytics, look at your stats on your social media pages. What activities are bringing in the most subscribers or the most traffic? You want to look at the numbers, hands down. Numbers don't lie. Numbers are very important in business. But you also want to ask, what's really working? Is this really working for me? Is this product really working for me? Is this service really working for me? Maybe you are a web designer and, the majority of your income comes from doing people's websites, from scratch. That's great. But maybe in the future, you want to have more time to travel and maybe live overseas. So, that's where the bulk of your stuff is coming from now. That's great. But when you evaluate it, you can kind of see it's not exactly the business I want to build. So let's start spending a little bit more time on another income stream or several income streams to kind of move that piece of the pie down and have others fill in. So it's stuff like that. Like, are these marketing efforts really working? Are they getting me the number of subscribers I need and want to build my business where I want to go? Stuff like that. So you really want to ask, is it really working? In more of a emotional time energy sense, not just numbers. Numbers are important, but you want to make sure you're beating burnout and really building the business you really want. That's important. I don't want anyone to quit. I don't want anyone to have burnout, so we're going to try to avoid that. And lastly, especially once you get some time data down, I have even more questions in a workbook in the resources that can help you even further. You don't need to go in super detail if you don't want to. These 3 questions will pretty much suffice, and they'll really give you a great overview every few months of where you're going. But if you want some more questions, they're there for you and can be really valuable. So I'll see you in video 3.
Welcome to video 3, and I just have to say this one more time. Just make sure we're doing stuff that is actually worthwhile. So we're going to talk about automation because we want to make sure we're not asking someone to do something that can be done with an app or something else. So first things first, check your social media settings. Just learned about this a few months ago, but it's made a huge difference. Instagram, if you use it, and a lot of them have similar settings, so don't be worried if you don't use Instagram. But you could just set up your other profiles. Just kind of authorize it through the app. It takes 30 seconds, and you can have it automatically sent. And this has worked so well for me, especially from Instagram to my Facebook page. My Instagram posts on my Facebook page get at least double engagement and views than my other Facebook posts that I put, automatically through Facebook or through Buffer. Huge difference. And also, huge difference in my photo editing time in Lightroom when I learned shortcuts. So if you use Adobe apps or even like a MacBook or something, a lot of things have shortcuts, a lot of apps and stuff. And that can really cut down on some time. It really works for me. For Lightroom, I probably cut down my editing time by about 25%, which is a pretty big deal. That's a lot of time per month that I can then use to work on another project. Another thing is email marketing software. If you don't use it already, I highly recommend you look into it for any type of business, really. But I've never met one that didn't have this feature of an RSS feed. So taking your blog and automatically sending it to your email subscribers. And I love, love, love this feature. It saves me so much time from having to go in and manually do it every week when I send out a blog, or just having my email list hear crickets until I have a launch or something, and that doesn't usually work very well because they
haven't seen me in their inbox for weeks and they're like, who are you and why are you telling me something? So all the time I spend on my really like valuable blog posts can now go straight to them. They get it via email, and I actually get a lot of people replying from them saying that, they love that feature and they want to learn how to use it. So really, really worthwhile. Another thing is Gmail. If you use Gmail, there's a lot of extensions. My favorites are Boomerang because you can almost like use it as a reminder feature. So I will forward myself an email at a later date to remind myself to sign up for this class or, book a session or work on this project. It also works to remind other people. It works really great. Grammarly is actually just a Chrome extension or Firefox or whatever. But it'll just help you communicate more effectively. It's kind of like autocorrect or spell check, but it goes way deeper than that. It's kind of like on steroids. And it's not necessarily going to save you time or money, but if it's helping you be a better communicator, like writing a new email pitch to a potential client or writing a sales page on your website, if it helps you to have better grammar, better spelling, even stuff like word choice, it can do a lot of kind of word choice suggestions or sentence structure suggestions. And if that helps you book some more clients or sell some more stuff, that's totally a worthwhile use of space on your computer. And my new favorite, which I just found, is Assistant.to. I was spending a lot of time on my inbox years ago, and a lot of it was back and forth, like, hey, when do you want to meet? Clients or students, when do you want to have your call? Getting interviewed on a podcast or something, someone would be back and forth, at least half a dozen emails. Can you meet next Monday? Can we talk on Tuesday? All that stuff. And this is really just a simple plugin. It's at the bottom of your kind of message screen, and you can just click it and be like, oh, here's my Google Calendar. It integrates with that and says, I have Tuesday at 3 or Monday at 1. Do those work for you? So it really cuts down on back and forth email, which drove me nuts, and it seriously saved me so much time. Other fun things. So I included these logos right here, these three on the right, because finances are super important in business. If you're a freelancer or a blogger or a photographer or whatever, it's important. So having some sort of app. A lot of these are paid, but they are well worth it because tax season is really annoying, right? And it's extra annoying when you're self-employed. So having these things automate your expenses, your income, and all of that really makes a huge difference. I usually do my own taxes and it takes me less than 3 hours, and it's so much less of a headache because I can just have my PayPal and all my other apps go right into these apps. I've used all of them at different times, and totally worth it. PayPal can go through your business accounts, your bank accounts, all that stuff, and you just have to go in every once in a while and make sure things are categorized correctly and just check in. I probably spend now 20 minutes a month on bookkeeping, maybe 30 on a kind of a bad month, a disorganized month, and it saves me so much time and definitely money because I'm making sure things are accurate. I'm making sure I'm not getting charged extra for some app. I'm making sure that I'm not getting overcharged or that a client hasn't paid yet or something like that. It works so well. Highly recommend those. My other favorite thing that I'm suggesting is Evernote. And you might already use Evernote, and I'm not an expert in it by any means, but my favorite thing that also saves me a ton of time on email every month is Evernote. And it's because every Evernote account has a personalized email, so you can kind of email yourself notes and tag them and all that stuff and organize them. I use this pretty much just for newsletters for shops like Amazon Deal of the Day and Groupon and all that stuff. So I have them go to my Evernote, they get, filed away, I tag them, etc. So when I'm looking for a deal, looking to book a last minute vacation or, buy someone something, all of my stuff is right there. All the coupon codes are right there. They're tagged, they're organized. It takes me maybe 5 minutes a week to go through this. And, if there's anything I actually need or want, super simple, super easy, and it saves me so much time. I don't open my inbox anymore and see 100 messages every morning, and that used to literally be the case. I would spend at least an hour a day in my inbox, and I no longer do that. I probably spend an hour a week using all these different things that I'm showing. The other two that I absolutely love, which I will finish off with showing you a little bit of a kind of walk around in these apps, is Zapier and Ifttt, or Ifttt if you want to call it that. Super good apps. Literally, if you get one thing, this is probably the one thing, but it depends on your business, but this is one of the one things that I can't live without. So first we'll go over Zapier. This is a free at first kind of app. They both have premium versions like most apps do. So you're gonna have to play around with each of these and see which one you need the most. I use both. Sometimes I actually don't use my Zaps all that often. They're kind of rare. But Ifttt is one that I use literally every single day. But they're both really worthwhile into looking into. Evernote, Mailchimp, Google Drive, all that stuff that we use all the time. WordPress is one of them. There's so many Zaps that are so worthwhile to look into. QuickBooks, as we've mentioned. So many that can really be beneficial no matter what kind of business you have. Really worthwhile to look into. You can see all of these are really great. If you use Gumroad to sell some of your products, so awesome. Even Reddit, so you can get some really fun updates on Reddit. Totally worthwhile, and pretty much all the bookkeeping apps are in here. A lot of email marketing software is included in Zaps. Totally awesome. So some of my favorites, and I'm just going to show you some examples real quick so we can make this video short-ish, is Evernote. So say you use Evernote as your personal to-do list manager, but for your clients, you show them updates on their web design or something like that. Maybe you're a photographer, so you show them sample outfits they can wear to their engagement photos or whatever. Stuff like that. You can maybe use this Trello Zap or the Asana one. I know a lot of designer clients and students I have use Asana for their clients to show them updates and kind of, does this logo example look good to you? And they actually use Evernote for their own. So these types of integrations are really worthwhile. And I actually will probably start including this one into my systems, Google Cal to Evernote and vice versa. That would be really helpful. If you use QuickBooks or FreshBooks or whatever, this can be really worthwhile as well. And I realized little things like Stripe to QuickBooks, this Zap, I realized that I was doing a lot of things of like manually writing down PayPal or just like filing away my PayPal receipts in Gmail and then having to go in every month and like print them out or file them away, and just little things like that were actually taking up a lot of time and energy. So if a little app like this will do it for you, that's totally worth it, because not only the time and the money you can save, you're not going to miss any income or any expenses, which obviously is going to cost you money. But it also saves you some energy, because there's those little draining admin tasks. I don't know about you, but for me, those kill me every day when I have to go in and, clean out my inbox or, run some numbers or whatever. Having them automated is going to make me way more accurate, which is really good. I'm going to be safe with my numbers, and it's not going to drain me, which is really important to me as a creative entrepreneur. So Ifttt, my top favorite, and it's probably my favorite because it's more free. I get more for my free account than Zapier, and I've literally been using it for years. What I love about it is that they help you create so many. The team has all these fun like updates. I even have it set up so I get emails from them with alerts and tutorials and stuff. Recipes to streamline social media. I have most of those working. They have some other apps that are really fun. And there's even a list in this for using them for your wedding, and we really did use IFTTT for our wedding. It actually helped tremendously. So just showing you a few of the popular ones today. Stuff we've talked about, social media, backing up your phone even, I use that a lot. And I'm going to show you kind of all the crazy channels that are included, and these are constantly being updated, constantly. Every time I log in, there's something new, and I'm just like, oh my word. You can totally have a full-on smart house from just IFTTT and some stuff you can buy on Amazon. It's crazy. A lot of blogging stuff. I have WordPress and Medium connected. Super awesome for me. Mailchimp is a new one, and it's really great. If you use Buffer, huge. Even silly things. I have it set up to sometimes text me and show me the weather, or text me and remind me to, call my grandmother or something like that. We used it for our wedding to have some of our wedding hashtag photos and things that were uploaded to Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff to automatically go to Google Drive, and that worked awesome for us. Here are some other ones. These are just super helpful. I love it. I will stop gushing about how much I love it and show you some other examples. So if you use Mailchimp, for example, really great ones. I know a lot of people that use IFTTT, especially in like a startup setting, like if you share an office, they will have a notification every time you get a sale or a new subscriber. A lot of people will use like some of the smart apps that we saw up at the top with like GE lights or something like that. So they'll have, when they make a sale in Gumroad or whatever channel they use, it'll flicker the lights or change the color of the lights. You can do the same with Mailchimp. That would be really fun. But I know a lot of people that love to do that. And then of course there's social media stuff. So we know that Instagram to Tumblr can be done on Instagram, but you can also set it up this way if you wanted to, which sometimes adds a little bit more customization, so it's worth looking into. And there's just so many awesome ones. Even if you have a Fitbit, there's so many things to do with a Fitbit. It's so crazy awesome. So I really recommend you look into these two apps and also look into things like updating your bookkeeping, which is super important, or even just a few hacks like MacBook, iMac, Adobe hacks. Those can be also really good. So I'll see you in the project video next.
Hi guys, welcome to your project video. I'm so excited to see how this class and this process helps you to organize your business and grow your business and take a lot of stress off your plate, and even shave some time off your work week to go do other things like hang out with your loved ones or read a book or work out or catch up on your Netflix queue, whatever it is. In the project, what I love to do is I love to just have people show their work. I love to use the project section below as kind of a notebook as you go through the class. So you can post your time log, maybe a screenshot or a photo, whatever you end up doing to investigate your time, post that. And you can post some things that you realized as you went through it. You realize that you spent too much time on email or on YouTube or whatever. You can post some of the stuff you found out in video 2, evaluate. Or you can post, you can post your favorite IFTTT recipes or some of the fun automation stuff you've found through your study of your time and the apps that you love to use for your business and all of that stuff. Time. Hi guys, welcome to the project video. I am so excited to see how this 3-step kind of process helps you in your business and takes some stress off your plate and helps you grow, which is super important, right? So what I love to do with projects in my classes is to actually allow the project area below to be kind of like a workbook or a notebook as you go through the class. So a lot of times we just share our ideas as we go through the class. I blog through the project and I do the project below as well, so you can see mine. You can just post, maybe post your time log, post a screenshot of it or a picture of it. Post some bullet points of things that you learned as you tracked your time. You can even post some of your favorite IFTTT recipes or some other automation stuff that you found and loved. And I do this because we can create a really great, almost like a mastermind type of space in the comments and in our projects. And in the past, in some of my classes, this has created a space where some of the students have gone on to be published in magazines based on ideas that we've brainstormed and encouragement and resources that other students or myself have shared in the comments on your project. So I really encourage you to post whatever you can in the project and even keep updating it as you go. I do that a lot with my classes as well. So I hope you will post, I hope you will share this class with some people that are, that are overwhelmed, some of your friends who want to be entrepreneurs or freelancers who want to grow their businesses. This is super important stuff. And I also encourage you and I ask you to leave a review on this class if it's been helpful for you, or leave any feedback you have. I will totally appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It was such a pleasure to teach this class, and I'm really looking forward to what kind of brainstorming we can do in the comments and the projects. Thanks, guys. Bye.